Kia's Telluride is a smash hit. The company still can't pump them out fast enough from its West Point, Georgia plant. Think it's because it has 3 rows? Well, Sorento has been rocking those for years, but never got that kind of love. Maybe Generation 4 here will get some. It's an all-new design. There are some lessons learned from Big Brother, but this sibling has an independent streak. It will appeal to shoppers that find Telluride too large. Sorento is 8 inches shorter and 3.5 inches narrower, and might be perfect for families on the fence between 2 and 3 rows. Kia says there's a Sorento for everyone. That is, if you can afford a vehicle that starts at $30,500. I think what it means is you can buy this in many, many different ways. There are 5 different models and 4 powertrains. And really, there are 6 models when considering the X line here is a trim upgrade of the high-end SX Prestige model. This is the glamping Sorento, the most expensive one that you can buy. The X rides an inch higher than other models for 8.2 inches of ground clearance, though the suspension components are the same. The trim panels get a matte finish and the roof rails are beefier. If you take a fancy to the Woodsy Owl look and this exclusive Aruba Green paint, it's the one you'll be buying. It retails for $43,760, so this is not the Sorento for everyone. The back seat has an ultrasonic sensor in case you absent-mindedly leave a pet or child there. I know you wouldn't, but your neighbor might. For those who feel that you don't need all-wheel drive unless you live in a snowy place, we in the Pacific Northwest would beg to differ. Here is the Sorento with front-wheel drive only. See what I mean? The extra traction is nice. The X-Line is strictly all-wheel drive, as it should be. The base Sorento engine is a 2.5-liter 4-cylinder, naturally aspirated. Higher models get this 2.5-liter Turbo 4 with 281 horsepower and 311 pound-feet of torque. A hybrid is available now. The plug-in hybrid arrives later in 2021. Both gas engines get 8 speeds. The turbo engine's gearbox is a dual clutch. The action and the feel of the selector is buttery smooth. Manual shifts are a thing here. X-Line gets a differential lock, plus adds a snow mode to the drive dynamics. Graphics change on this 12.3-inch cluster that comes on SX trims. Prince would have loved that touch of purple. Why would you want the turbo engine? Well, because it adds 90 horsepower and 130 pound-feet of torque to the normally aspirated 4-cylinder. And on average, this vehicle weighs 4,000 pounds with all-wheel drive. It's quick, with 0 to 60 dashes taking 7 seconds. The dual-clutch gearbox shifts snappy and smooth when motoring about. A couple times I felt a slight hiccup when starting off or backing up. Steering weight is on the lighter side, and there is some road feel coming up through the steering wheel, not gobs and gobs. Sorento handles pretty well for a crossover, and you have to remember, the X-Line rides an inch higher. Its center of gravity is higher. While Sorento is smaller than Telluride, it's the same height. People love the commanding view of crossovers. The new platform stretches Sorento's wheelbase by about 1.5 inches. It's 120 pounds lighter now, with average tensile strength up by 4%, which also helps improve impact protection. I'm kind of a nerd about things like that. Even at freeway speeds, Sorento is fairly quiet, and the ride quality is an excellent blend of comfort and control. It's one of those suspensions that you really don't notice, and that is a compliment. That said, I prefer a firmer suspension, and this one keeps body movements down during hard cornering and braking, but it's not a sports car, of course. The turbo's fuel economy average is the same as the normally aspirated 4 at 24 miles per gallon on regular grade fuel, but understand that the turbo here does better during highway driving. The base engine excels in the city. If that fuel economy isn't good enough for you, well, there's always the hybrid version, though unfortunately it's a front driver only, though you can get a hybrid with all-wheel drive, the plug-in version. The hybrid averages 37 mpg. Kia claims the plug-in will have an all-electric range of 30 miles. I do like to cover the automatic stop-start engine systems because while most of them are pretty good these days, some of them not so great. And Sorento's is on the good side. You can turn it off, the button's right there. I don't really feel the need to. There's a camera system available on the top trim models that I like a lot. Signal, and you get a view of the blind spot. The image is a lot more crisp than my GoPro is showing. It's on both sides. It works especially well on the highway. Good news! Automatic emergency braking and lane keep assist are standard on all Sorentos now. This one is equipped with an advanced system where on the highway, the lane keeping is excellent. It's very confident between the road stripes, even takes gentle corners with your hands off the wheel. Though really, you should keep your hands on the wheel. Other advanced safety tech on this X-Line includes automatic emergency braking when pulling out of a parallel parking spot and a car is approaching from the rear, blind spot avoidance that pulses the brakes to steer the vehicle back into its lane if it senses contact, and safe exit assist that warns passengers not to open the door if a bicyclist or car is approaching. As far as off-roading goes, between the locking differential and extra ground clearance, X-Line should do well on unimproved Forest Service roads or a poorly maintained alley near my house. It's the kind of terrain that owners might take this on. Sorento isn't meant to be used like a Jeep Grand Cherokee. Kia has upped the game in the interior space. The X-Line arguably has the best trimming in the Sorento line. Hope so, it's the most expensive. There's excellent detailing here for a mainstream brand. Eyes are immediately drawn to the open-pore wood-like trim. It's not real, but it'll fool many. Door releases are easy to manhandle. Kia says the vents here are inspired by workout barbells? Okay. It's all very strong looking compared to the urbane look of the outgoing Sorento. Some models come with synthetic leather seating. This is the real thing. The cushions don't get adjustment for length, but I appreciate the controls for the heated and vented feature. Nicely done, Kia. The wheel is heated too. This is the larger of the two interface touchscreens. There's no knob controller if that's a deal breaker for you. Response is sure and snappy. Layout is good too. Android Auto and Apple CarPlay are standard. Fancy models like this get an intercom system for the back row. Remember when we used to just yell? Have you been in the third row? Because I'm not going back there. I have my pride. This is what we in the biz call foreshadowing. How's the mid-row? It's good. I like this space much better. For starters, the seats slide fore and aft. I always like that. We're both 5'9". As far as headroom goes, it's good at about that much. And because the seats slide, leg, knee, and foot room is adjustable. Cushions are high enough so that thigh support is excellent, and door openings big enough so that car seats go in and out without a hitch. You got your cup holder and whatever skinny slot this is. Kind of surprised this fancy model doesn't have built-in sunshades. This is kind of cool. Not just one pocket, two pockets, and both seats get this, plus a little phone pocket on the side of the seat. Kia's definitely giving power to the people here. There's this and these on the seats. The seats are not heated. Again, this is the fancy model. The floor is nice and flat. That's important because Sorento is available with a bench seat that seats 3, but it's only in the lower models. Personally, I prefer the captain's chairs. Let me get out of the way and allow you to get in the back. All right, here we go. Passageway is a little on the tight side. Headroom is... Ooh, I have that much. The cushions are some 6 inches off the floor, so my knees are up near my chest as far as leg and foot room goes. These are now about midway, and let me get my phone here and show you how my feet do go underneath the seat a little bit. That does help. And it's nice that there's some storage and cup holders, even USB ports on both sides. In an emergency, this would be fine for adults, but to be fair, Kia calls this space +2 seating. Normally that means for little kids. That's what I would put back here. For those using the third row a lot, maybe a Telluride is better. Let's talk about design. Have to say, the clean look of Generation 3 didn't suck, but things can't stay the same forever. Gen 4 is more swept, with some chunky elements thrown in. Kia's Tiger Nose grille gives way to a widened tiger face, stretching all the way to the standard LED headlights. There seems to be more glass now, and sure to appeal to Flipper is this dorsal element. Some models get it in contrasting color, so it stands out more. Different from the B-pillar notch on Telluride, Kia doesn't do the Russian doll thing, though Sorento looks a little like Seltos. Kudos to the engineers for tucking the wiper away. Not all buyers are going to want their Sorentos dressed up like Ranger Rick, so here's a quick look at the more urbane SX model. It's the upgraded Prestige, only available with front-wheel drive. Still rugged looking, yes, but the black trim is glossy, and the roof rack that may only be used to retrieve a Christmas tree is lower profile. There's an inch less ground clearance than the X-Line that again is an odd trim offshoot of this SX. My eye sees these aluminum-esque panels to be less successful, but overall the black interior has a quality look even though I prefer the lodge-like vibe of the X-Line. It moves with the turbo engine. I checked out torque steer and it has little to none. To me, the sweet spot of the Sorento line seems to be the all-wheel drive EX version that moves with the Turbo 4 and gets the warmer faux wood trim. Without the panoramic roof, its MSRP is about $38,000, the average cost of a new vehicle these days. There is no kick-to-open tailgate. Kia uses the kind where you simply stand next to it for a little while and it opens up automatically if you have the fob in your pocket or purse. I only have this car for a day, so no Costco TP test. Instead, you're going to see how my gear bags fit in here. As you can see, not an awful lot of room behind row 3. It's just 12.6 cubic feet. Glad to see this. Crossovers sometimes venture far from pavement. There's a little bit of storage, maybe energy bars for the kids. Expanding this area to 38.5 cubes is effortless, and I see many Sorentos being used in this configuration most often. No need to walk around to the back doors for more space. Now you're looking at 75.5 cubic feet. Sorento has a lot of room, but it doesn't feel like driving a school bus. Let's wrap this up with red light, green light. Green lights. Like I just said, Sorento is a Goldilocks vehicle when it comes to size and powertrain choice. Easy to maneuver, it's spacious for a family of 4, plus some extra friends when needed. For a mainstream crossover, I like the comfortable controlled driving dynamics. Considering the features, materials, and impressive warranty, Sorento is a good value. Yellow lights? The nearly seamless dual-clutch transmission had a couple slight hitches at low speed. It might have been learning my driving style. Exterior design is bolder, yet to my eye, not as defined as the outgoing model or Telluride. Row 3 is perfectly usable for those unexpected kid shuttling days. Just don't expect adults to tolerate it on a regular basis. Red light. Sure wish X-Line trim and its extra inch of ground clearance was available on lower models. Even when buying the top Sorento, it lacks a climate zone, heated seats, and sunshades in the mid-row. And unrelated to the car, Kia's consumer website is a mess when trying to configure a vehicle. It's very confusing. Competitors? Sorento might be a 3-row machine, but the Wayback isn't as useful as, say, Highlander, Pilot, Traverse, and Atlas. Then again, RAV4, Passport, Blazer, and Tiguan stop at 5 passengers. The often overlooked Mazda CX-9 is probably the most similar in function. Sorento's tweener size and Kia's value is what makes this a smart buy. Shoppers buying the extra row for just-in-case use get it without helming a hulking SUV. Sorento hits the utility sweet spot. It's an excellent companion to Telluride in Kia showrooms and a good choice for small families with lots of friends. A reminder that I've started a price quote service, quotes.driven.ws. It's free and immediately gives invoice pricing. I hate hearing people say that they didn't buy the car they love because it was too expensive. Getting a dealer quote is the real price. Some manufacturers set retail pricing high for lots of haggle room. There might be incentives you don't know about too. So even if you don't use mine, be smart, get price quotes. Helps to locate used cars too. I mentioned the plant in West Point, Georgia. That's where gas-only Sorentos are built for North America. The standard hybrid model that's on sale now and the plug-in hybrid that I expect in late summer or fall of 2021 are bolted and welded together in South Korea. In other markets, Sorento gets a 2.2-liter diesel, not here. Special thanks to the lovely and always charming Mariko for driving duties. Martin Campbell has a job. These were kind of sprung on me at the last minute on a weekday. I need to take her to Dairy Queen now. This is the end. Time for the fun fact. When Kia first started business, what did it make? Anybody? I'll take Patrick in Iowa. Nope, not brushes and combs. It made bicycle parts. bicycle parts, and I don't need that in the form of a question. Thanks for joining me. Remember to subscribe to this channel and click notifications. That's Driven. I'm Tom Voelk.